Hello and welcome to another episode of Rico'S Rants. I'm your host, Rico DiGiorgio. So this is not going to be a full-on episode, really, of the movie. I got to cover some geek news, like shit that's been going on. I'm going to try to adjust this just a little bit. First off, that happened. I tried trimming my beard just a little bit, and I fucked up. And what I realized is now I look 12 and 30 pounds heavier. So I went from like, hey, I look young, and oh my God, I look unhealthy. So that was a real eye-opener. So there's some news that's been developing for a couple weeks. I've actually been wanting to talk about it, but I haven't really. I've been busy. There's some just shit going on in the geek universe that I really just need to talk about. So first off, DC is making a standalone Joker origin movie. Now, because it's the internet, this is actually considered old news now. It's only been a couple weeks, but still, I gotta say, as a fan of the Joker, as a fan of the Joker, I'm just speaking for like the DC Universe movies. I'm not really okay with this. I think it's actually a discredit towards the character itself. And the fact that like they're just confusing their own timeline. They're really fucking like DC is just like fuck it. Whereas Marvel, I gotta admit, like, I've always been I like both DC and Marvel, but in terms of the movie series, Marvel has been laying down little bits of what they're going to do, little Easter eggs and little ideas. Like, they have a long, big fucking plan on what they've been doing ever since Iron Man 1. DC thinks, in my opinion, it looks like they have a plan, but they're really not great at constructing what the fuck their plan is going to be. And they realize, oh, well, Jared Leto was not really well regarded in Suicide Squad, so we're going to make another one. But we're still going to keep him because we have a contract with him. But we're not going to have him be in the Joker standalone movie. They're talking about, like, it's going to be an origin story, so it's going to be about young Joker in, like, 1980s Gotham. Okay, so basically, Taxi Driver meets Joker. If this was 10 years ago, and they weren't making they didn't already have someone playing the Joker, and they didn't have a whole extended universe, and they weren't still using Jared Leto for other films like Suicide Squad 2, Gotham City Sirens, and possibly Ben Affleck's Batman solo film. If that's even still happening. Who the fuck knows on that one? So, they want to go younger, which you would have to do for an origin story. But the rumors is Leo DiCaprio. Leo DiCaprio is like the same age as Jared Leto and doesn't look any younger. If anything, Jared Leto looks younger than Leo DiCaprio. Which is funny because DiCaprio has a fucking baby face. And looks radically different. Now, for the Joker character itself, the reason why the Joker is a really fascinating character on screen and in the comics and whatever is because he really doesn't have an origin story. The closest we got was The Killing Joke, as well as Tim Burton's 1989 Jack Nicholson Joker. That very blatantly gave him an origin story. Gave him too much of an origin story. The reason why Heath Ledger's Joker holds up in such high regard is because he gave such conflicting versions of where he got these scars, like where he came from. Hold on, my cat's calling me. Hang on. Come on, let's go. Get inside. Get inside. Well, fuck you then. All right. So, sorry about that. I have a problem with them just, they're saying it's not connected and it's going to be a standalone thing. So then why make an origin film when you have another Joker? And clearly, I mean, honestly, Jared Leto didn't really give him a chance. I didn't particularly like his Joker, but I also felt like we didn't give him a chance. He was in Suicide Squad for like 10 minutes, which is really nothing. And I think it could have been considered like backlash, being like, oh, well, we didn't put enough Joker in Suicide Squad, so we're going to make a whole movie about the Joker. Okay, that's fine. Just have it be the same fucking actor. Jared Leto looks young enough, and or make it connected. If you're going to make a Joker movie, have it be connected to the universe. Otherwise, if this just reminds me of like, you know, when the big comic book movie scene started brewing, like Spider-Man, X-Men, not the ones that are like super connected, not the DC universe or the Marvel universe. I'm talking about the standalone Daredevil, X-Men. Well, X-Men had its own franchise, but you know, like these one-off ones, like the different Punisher movies that came out. It just reminds me of that. It's like, oh, well, we're going to make a Hush movie. We're going to make a Joker movie. We're going to make a Elektra movie for sure. They're just saying, well, who do we have? Excuse me, I think I'm allergic to bullshit. So it just reminds me of that they're just saying, well, we have this character, we'll just make a movie. Fuck it. The fans are going to go see it anyways. Yeah, we are. And look, Scorsese's my favorite director. And if, like I said, if this was something that was happening 10 years ago, I would have been super into it. Scorsese producing a Joker movie? The whole origin story thing also pisses me off. That being said, if they tweak it and make an origin story connected to Jared Leto's Joker, so you have a young Batman, you have a young Joker, you have young villains and shit, and in sort of 80s era Gotham, and really kind of noirish and dirty and mean streets type of scenario. If you're going to do that, make it connected to Jared Leto's Joker. Don't overindulge the origin story. I don't mind seeing a movie about a young Joker, but I don't really necessarily want to see who he really is and how he became the Joker. I don't want to know his real name. Unless it's literally Joe Kerr, that's it. But he should not have a real name. It should not be, you know, whatever. It shouldn't be Jimmy blah blah blah. It should just be, they call him the name Joker as a nickname, or he should already have the makeup or the bleached skin or the green hair. There should not be an origin. But I don't mind seeing a young Joker. I don't mind seeing that. But if they are going to cast him, it should not be Leo DiCaprio. I get a lot of hate because I actually am not a huge fan of Leo DiCaprio. I think he is a decent actor in amazing films, and he's been regarded as the reason why the films are amazing. Look, I saw Revenant. I've seen a lot of his movies, but Revenant was good. I'm glad he won an Oscar so that all of his fans will just shut the fuck up about saying, oh my god, he needs to win an Oscar. Sure, he needs to win an Oscar. He won an Oscar, let's drop it. Johnny Depp needs to win an Oscar. Robert Downey Jr. needs to win an Oscar. Fucking Gary Oldman needs to win an Oscar. There are lots of actors who I do believe should win an Oscar. And look, Leo was really, really terrifying in Django Unchained, and that's what they're using the basis for, is he can be intimidating. Yeah, he's an actor. All great actors, or all even shitty actors, are supposed to have a multitude of genres that they can employ, like being intimidating, like being terrifying, like being really funny, like being dramatic, like being romantic. Django Unchained was great, but I like that he did something completely different. But him being Joker, I don't see it being good. Now, to be fair, like everyone else, when Heath Ledger was first announced as the Joker, we were all kind of like, really? That's fucking sarcastic. And he was amazing. He was phenomenal in it. And Jared Leto, I think, given a chance to actually give it a shot, he could be. I like Jared Leto as an actor. I just didn't like his appearance. I didn't like the too many tattoos. And also, after rewatching Suicide Squad again the other night, because I was prepping for this, he basically is a combination of Marilyn Manson and Jim Carrey. That's what his Joker is. His voice is exactly Jim Carrey, and his appearance is very much Joker Low meets Marilyn Manson. Now, I get he was trying something new and blah, blah, blah. But if they are going to cast a young actor for a Jared Leto Joker, it should be Bill Skarsgård. I went and saw It, and I will do a review of It Part 1. And he was great. He was super good, and he even kind of looks like a young... sorry, I'll just see if I can adjust... whatever. He even looks like a young Jared Leto. Like, I could see him in the green hair and the white makeup, and convincingly looking like a young Jared Leto. So I'm fine with that, but I'm not okay with making another alternate universe Joker separate from the DCEU. With the exception of them doing a Flashpoint Joker, in which case it's, spoiler, Bruce Wayne's mom. I'm fine with that. I would love to see a Flashpoint movie, and I think they're making one. But that at least will be connected. So that's my Joker thoughts on that one, if people were interested. Next bit of random fucking geek news. Colin Trevorrow has been fired from Star Wars Episode 9. Now, this sort of hit me personally. Hang on, I'm going to close this door. The wind is... It's fucking cold here. Supposed to be blue skies in Oakland, but make up your fucking mind. Colin Trevorrow used to work at the video store that I work at. And when I found that out... he went to high school with my brothers. He was a little older than them. And they knew his younger brother a whole lot more. So when I found out Colin Trevorrow worked at where I currently work, the video room over in the Bay Area, it made me, and at the time he had just done Jurassic World, and the rumor and word had just got out that he was going to direct Episode 9. I was flabbergasted, and I was actually kind of like, it gave me a slight sense of purpose, being like, oh my god, I could be a filmmaker. I'm doing the exact same job he did. He went from A to B and got to C. So it was really kind of like, one of our own is going to fucking do Episode 9. And I actually really enjoyed Jurassic World. I didn't get the hate for that movie. I thought it was very good. I mean, I ranked it, I think it's my second favorite. I mean, after Jurassic Park, it's Jurassic World. Because I'm not one of those movie fan Puritans that's like with the original trilogy of Star Wars, like, it's just the original trilogy, nothing else. I loved Force Awakens, and I'm looking forward to Last Jedi because they're introducing new characters and new feelings and new experiences, and it's a whole range of people we can grow to learn about. That's why I really didn't like Rogue One as much as everyone else did, because Rogue One didn't offer me any new characters that I can learn, that I can grow to love with. Rogue One, spoiler, gave us literally Star Wars' version of Suicide Squad. It was just, everyone fucking died. And I really didn't have any feelings or, I mean, it gave us, in my opinion, one of the greatest Darth Vader scenes ever. But so what? It was basically just kind of like the best way I could describe it, and I'm sort of stealing this from Kevin Smith, it was just basically a really long, semi-decent hand job, and then a really amazing orgasm at the end. That's kind of what it was for me. It wasn't a long, like, oh, this is so good, I'm so happy, it was just kind of like, Yeah, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh my god, that scene! That's what it was for me. So for Colin, my thoughts are fucking Disney and Star Wars or whoever, Lucasfilm and whatever. They are firing too many people. And the thing is, I get it that they have their own agenda. They have their own ideas and they want to stick with it, especially with Kathleen Kennedy. She's sort of the one who's running this whole thing. But then why hire people with visions? You're hiring young, new filmmakers like the guys who almost did Han Solo, or Josh Trank, or you're getting these young, ambitious, hungry filmmakers who have a vision. And then you say, no, don't use your vision. You are literally here to show up and say action, and then send us what you filmed, and we're going to say, no, that was okay, or that was not okay. Like, really, honestly, why get new young filmmakers? Because of bankability, star power kind of thing? Like, the director of Jurassic World is going to direct episode 9. J.J. Abrams is episode 7 and 9 now. I get it. But you're also you're doing the opposite effect of what Marvel does, which is Marvel has an agenda, they have a plan, and they will stick with their plan, but they will also let different filmmakers with different visions try different things. Avengers is very different than Doctor Strange. Joss Whedon's a different visionary filmmaker than whoever the fuck did who did Doctor Strange? I'm blanking on the name. Sorry for whoever the fuck directed Doctor Strange. But it's a different film. It's a different type of uniqueness. I mean, Ken Branagh, who did Thor, that movie's way different than fucking Captain America Civil War, directed by the Russo brothers. I remember those. Those are Italians. We stick to our fucking people. So I get it, and I'm a little disappointed. I was really kind of looking forward to seeing Colin Trevorrow direct episode 9. The rumors are that he was kind of an egotistical, arrogant director. But that's the thing, is that when you get a young, new director who, started out in the indie world and then made a big budgeted conglomerate movie like Jurassic World, he's going to get an ego. Especially since Spielberg hired him directly for Jurassic World. So he had Spielberg, he was thinking of himself as, I'm going to be the new Spielberg. I'm going to direct Star Wars. Essentially these new directors, not new directors, but these directors like J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson and Colin Trevorrow, they are the new generation of Spielberg, George Lucas, Scorsese. And because they idolized those guys. You could see their work influence their work. So, of course he's going to have a bit of an ego. Basically, he hasn't made that many films. I mean, one called Safety Guaranteed or something, and I haven't seen it. And what's this other one that, Henry's Book or something? The Book of Henry? I haven't seen that either, but he got a lot of hate for that because, you should have done better. You did Jurassic World. Scorsese made bad films too. Spielberg made bad films too. The movie industry is a little bit too, especially Disney and Lucasfilm, they're getting a little too, they're coming off a little too arrogant. And I say that being a Disney fan and being a Lucasfilm fan and being a Star Wars fan and a Marvel Comics fan. I love studios that will make great movies. Disney, Marvel, all that shit, they've all made great movies. But you have to be very clear with what you want with the filmmaker from the very beginning. Say, you cannot deviate from this in any way. This is the big plot. You can add minor characters and make them your own way, but you cannot deviate from this. Which is what I think the big issue was with the directors who did Han Solo, or the young Solo. Well, I don't know, they need to come up with a fucking title. Now it's still just called Han Solo origin film, like Joker origin film. So, like I said, I loved Force Awakens, so I'm pumped for JJ coming back. I think he did a great job. He literally gave us a new hope. And that's not just saying, oh, he copied the original Star Wars. He really didn't. He gave us a new thing to appreciate. And I think there's all these jokes about how, it's going to be a complete ripoff of Return of the Jedi, which means, like, this joke's being, the title is going to be called Return of the Last Jedi. So what? It's Star Wars. I'm grateful for another Star Wars film. I was grateful for Rogue One, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. So, trying to think if there's any other geek news. Frank Vincent died. I was really upset about that. Frank Vincent was the actor in Goodfellas, who basically has like a really integral part where he's like, now go home and get your fucking shine box. That guy. He was on The Sopranos. He was in Casino. He worked a lot with Scorsese. He was one of Joe Pesci's best friends. They actually were a comedy singing duo act before they were famous. Like in the 60s and 70s, like they were basically another Martin and Lewis. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people forget that Joe Pesci actually was a lounge singer. Right? Like, funny how? Am I funny like I'm Jerry Lewis? Am I funny like I'm Dean Martin? Like, anyways, what are your thoughts on the Joker origin story? What are your thoughts on Colin Trevorrow getting fired? Tell me, talk to me. What do you think about Bill Skarsgård playing the young Leto Joker? Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and love you all to death. Bye, guys.